Yesterday, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis sent 50 migrants to Martha's Vineyard, where officials have declared a humanitarian crisis. This was just over 50 migrants. And their arrival at the ritzy vacation hotspot for wealthy liberals has triggered a wave of backlash from the left.
DeSantis really did that, and he's the most ballsy governor this country has ever seen. Yes, in fact, Ron DeSantis put migrants on planes and flew them to Martha's Vineyard because, after all, Massachusetts is a sanctuary state. Florida is not. So why should Florida have to pay for these migrants? They shouldn't. So he put them on a plane, sent them to Martha's Vineyard, figured they'd have a beautiful place to stay. The people who live on the vineyard are so welcoming. They would welcome them with open arms because they have signs all over the island that they welcome anyone and everyone, LGBTQ, any race, any religion. You're all welcome here. Come and stay with us. So he sent them there. And what did they do? Less than 24 hours after they arrived, they put them on buses and got them the hell out. They sent them to a military base on Cape Cod. That is the hypocrisy of the Democratic Party. The liberal, bleeding heart asshats who talk about how much they welcome the migrants, how much they deserve to come to this country for a better life. But when you send them somewhere that's supposed to be so welcoming, they don't want them. They send them on their way. They don't care if they're in the United States. Just don't bring them to their neighborhood or their city or town or their vineyard because they want no part of it. They're a bunch of lying hypocrites. They always have been and they always will be. And of course, Hillary Clinton had to get into the fray because we all know she's trying to stay relevant because she has nothing better to do. And she went on Joe Scarborough, that other nitwit liberal, and here's what she had to say about what Ron DeSantis did.
What I've been calling political human trafficking, taking advantage of migrants who are already suffering.
Well, I think, Joe, you have laid out the craziness of the time in which we're living, where some politicians would rather not only have an issue, but exacerbate it to the extent of literally human trafficking, as you said. And so many other Americans, I happen to believe still the majority of Americans, are good-hearted and generous. And when people end up on their doorstep in need, they're going to respond. They're going to feed them and house them. And the kids in the AP Spanish class are going to be let out of high school so they could go and translate. You know, that's the kind of American spirit that we try to celebrate at the Clinton Global Initiative.
So apparently, when Joe Biden puts the migrants on planes in the middle of the night, the early morning hours in the dark, and flies them to wherever, New York, New Jersey, Florida, any other state, okay? When Joe Biden's doing it to get them out of these areas they are because people don't want them, it's okay, it's fine, it's not illegal, it's not human trafficking, as Hillary and Joe called it. It's okay, and no one has a problem with it. But when Governor DeSantis did it, you heard Clinton, it's human trafficking. Well, they want their borders open. They want these people here. Why is it human trafficking? All DeSantis was trying to do is give them a nice place to stay that would be welcoming. But it's human trafficking, according to her. And of course, Gavin Newsom, that other beta, he's one of the most beta males you ever seen in your whole life. He's more beta than Jimmy Kimmel, and I thought Jimmy Kimmel was the biggest worm out there. Gavin Newsom is on the top of the list. I don't have a clip of him, but he said DeSantis needs to be arrested and charged with kidnapping for taking the migrants, putting them on a plane and sending them out of Florida because it was illegal what he did. He should have kept them in Florida and did whatever he could do to make them feel welcome. and make them be comfortable. Absolutely not. This is Joe Biden's issue. He's the problem. He's the one with the open gates. Come on in. The more the merrier, because the more votes we'll get. And Hillary also said most Americans, most people are very welcoming. When people are on their doorstep, they'll feed them, they'll house them, and the kids will even come outside of school and translate for them. Well, Hillary Clinton's a big Martha's Vineyard fool. Apparently, the people on Martha's Vineyard aren't welcoming because they didn't welcome the immigrants. They didn't feed them. They certainly didn't house them. They just shipped them on their way. But that's what you get when you listen to these buffoons and you keep voting for them. You get nothing but hypocrisy. They are a bunch of nitwits. They're a bunch of nitwits. And of course, our old friend Karine Jean-Pierre was asked at a White House press briefing what she thought about DeSantis sending the migrants over to Martha's Vineyard. And of course, she stumbled through it. But here's what she had to say.
Migrants, including children who arrived in Martha's Vineyard, were misled about where they were being taken and what would be provided when they arrived is also deeply alarming. The children Governor Abbott abandoned in Martha's Vineyard, the children that Governor DeSantis abandoned as well, deserve better. They deserve better than being left on the streets of D.C. or being left in Martha's Vineyard.
So the migrants were misled about where they were being taken and what would be provided for them when they arrived. Well, I'm pretty sure when they were put on planes in the middle of the night by Joe Biden, they had no idea where they were going. Most of these people don't speak a lick of English. I'm pretty sure they weren't concerned about where they were going and what was going to be provided. They were just happy to be in the United States, illegally, mind you, but they were still happy to be here. But Karine said they were misled. DeSantis didn't tell them where they were going, and he didn't tell them what was going to be provided when they got there. I guess they were expecting hotel rooms, hotel suites, 5-course meals, new clothes, tours of the island. I guess they were expecting that. But the vineyard is home to millionaire liberals. Millionaire liberals. But they couldn't wait to get them out of there. Now, why didn't the oppressed Obamas let them stay on their 30-acre estate? There's plenty of room. They're probably not even there right now. They could have had their Secret Service go meet the migrants, bring them to their estate, and just let them relax and take it easy. Because they're so oppressed, maybe the migrants would help them out and make them feel better. But oh no, can't do that. They want them in the country, but not in their yard. And what about Jay-Z and Beyonce, the other two who preach social justice and the Republicans are bad and they're not taking care of the migrants coming over the border? They have an estate on Martha's Vineyard, and I'm pretty sure they're not there. Why weren't they led and let them stay at their estate? Again, oh no. Bring them to the country, but don't let them in my house or in my neighborhood because we don't want to see them. This hypocrisy from the left gets deeper and deeper and deeper. It got so deep that nitwit, Charlie Crist, who's running against Ron DeSantis for governor in Florida, he was a Republican, then he was a Democrat, then he didn't know what he was. He also had to throw his 2 cents in because he knows he's going to get destroyed by DeSantis. But he had to say something because he's got to keep his face out there. He's got to keep talking, hoping that somebody listens to him. And here's good old Charlie with his 2 cents.
Are this inhumane in how you treat human beings? You're not qualified to be governor of anything. When they landed, they didn't even know where they were. It's just, it's so cold and so callous and so inhumane. It is unconscionable.
And another one, it's inhumane. DeSantis isn't qualified to be governor of anything. And when they landed, they didn't even know where they were. Just like they didn't know where they were when they landed in the middle of the night when Sleepy Joe sent them on their way. Charlie Crist is another dinosaur, again, who can't decide what political party he wants to be in. He's another one who just wants to keep getting involved to destroy our country more and more as the days go on. These people don't care about the immigrants. They don't care that they're coming through the border by the thousands. They don't care that they're going to be living on the streets all over the country and have nothing. But as long as they are not in their states, in their cities and towns, in their neighborhoods, they're fine with it. They can't deal with the fact that Joe Biden, their president, is letting these people into this country at an alarming rate. They don't care. They're letting them do it because they're going to use this to their advantage, so they think. They think the Republicans are using it as a political tool, but oh no. The Democrats are using it as a political tool because they keep bashing the Republican governors for sending them out of their states because they can't afford to keep them. Texas and Arizona are overwhelmed with thousands of them. But all these liberal asshats want them to stay there. You have to welcome them into the country. Why? Because that's where the border is? No. These cities, towns, and states who claim they're sanctuary places, they belong there. Because if you say you're a sanctuary, you want to take care of these people. But it's so obvious that they don't. Why can't people see what's going on in this country? Joe Biden does nothing. All he does is cause controversy and division. He called himself a unifier when he was running for president. He's going to unite the country back together again. This country's never been more divided since he took office. He has done, I always say this, zero. He has zero accomplishments. All he has is to bash the other political party and blame them for everything, and that's what he's going to continue to do. But there's always one more superstar who always has to get involved and put her 2 cents in, because she is another one. She has nothing better to do but go on television and talk shit with the rest of her cronies. And that is the one and only Whoopi Goldberg.
Immigrants were put on planes and flown from Texas to Martha's Vineyard in Massachusetts. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said he used his state's funds to do that. That means taxpayers paid for it. And his spokesperson added that places like Massachusetts and New York should take care of them since they're the ones inviting them here by calling themselves sanctuary cities. Now, I thought that was part of what we did here in the United States. We welcomed people, invited people who were going through crap in the countries they lived in, getting abused in the countries they lived in. I thought we asked people to come here.
And I'm pretty sure that the taxpayers of Florida don't mind one bit if DeSantis used taxpayer funds to fly them out of Florida. They didn't mind at all because they don't want them in their state, because they're going to be roaming the streets, sleeping on the streets, and just doing nothing while everybody goes about their daily business. If they came to this country legally and went to a state like Florida, there would be no problem. The governor wouldn't have a problem. The residents wouldn't have a problem. But they're coming in the country illegally. They do not belong here. They're not vetted. Who knows who these people are or what they're involved in? And I'm not saying all of them are criminals, but the Border Patrol has arrested a large number of wanted criminals coming through the border. We all know this. The Democrats know it. But again, they don't care. And Whoopi said, I thought that's what the United States did. We welcome people. We want them here. Well, Whoopi, why don't you take them to your estate, to your mansion? Let them live in your yard. Let them set up tents. Maybe you can, do you have a garage? Maybe they can stay in your garage. These people talk so much shit but they don't want to do anything about it. All they want to do is bash, bash, bash because someone did something right, like Abbott in Texas and DeSantis in Florida. They're sending these people to other places because the so-called sanctuary states are the states that should be welcoming these people with open arms. New York, Washington, okay? Massachusetts, big states. You got plenty of room. This is what you wanted. You applaud Joe Biden for not vetting these individuals and just letting them come over in droves. But as soon as they're on your doorstep, you cry foul. How dare they send them to my town, my city, my state? I don't understand what you mean. You people need to you need to wake up because you're talking out your ass. You say you want them here, but then you don't want them in your state, but you call yourself a sanctuary state. Make up your mind. It's just like Charlie Crist. He don't know what party he is from day to day. He's another dinosaur politician who's trying to get involved because he's got nothing better to do. And he's hoping he becomes a governor of Florida to turn it into a liberal shithole, just like Gavin Newsom has done to California. That's what they're all about. They do not care about the constituents and citizens who live in their states. All they care about is, look what I'm doing. I'm welcoming everybody. I'm giving everything away for free. We're giving IDs. We're giving driver's licenses. We're giving them housing and jobs. Who cares about the American citizens who live here? Let's take care of the illegals. That's what the liberals want to do. But they don't want to do it in their state. They want to talk shit about it, and they want other states to get involved. But as soon as they have to put their hands in their pockets, they cry foul. They stop barking. Human trafficking, kidnapping. This is illegal. These are the people that are running for office or are already in office. When are people going to wake up and realize that this administration in Washington has done nothing but destroy this country and separate this country more so than it ever has been? That's what they're about. That's what they're going to continue to do, and they're going to continue to push their negative narrative until November. And all we can do is hope and pray that one of the Congress chambers flips so they can go after these people for all the illegal shit they've done throughout their careers and what they're doing today to make America a shithole, because that's what they want. And it's all about control. The Democrats want control. They want a dictatorship. Do as I say, not as I do. You stay home, I'm going to pay you, and I'm going to go about my business and enjoy my life. That's what they're about. That's what today's Democratic Party is about. 30 years ago, it wasn't like that. But today, it's all about control. They feel the need to be in charge of everything, and every single word out of their mouth is a lie. They are the party of hypocrisy, and they will continue to be that way until someone or everyone wakes up and gives them 0 votes, because they are doing nothing for you, your city, your town, or your state. And if they get elected, it's all about them. You can forget it. Your privacy is going to be gone. They want to know everything you do. They want to know everywhere you go. They want to get into your bank accounts. They're sending the IRS all over the country to audit people who basically just live an average life. That's what they want to do. They want to get involved in every part of your daily life. They don't want you to just live, go to work, have a family, and enjoy your life. They want to rule it. They want to control it. People need to open their eyes and stop these fools before it gets any worse. And that's it. If you haven't already liked this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell, and you'll never miss an episode. Share my videos with people if you will. I'd appreciate that. And I hope everybody's healthy and safe. And look around when you're driving. You probably see migrants walking around. And again, I don't care. I'm not saying they're all criminals, but a lot of them are, and those are the ones that could be walking through your neighborhood. So stay safe, and I'll see you real soon. Have a great night.